bunch of kids in front of us, and the moment it hit 67, they all stood up and turned around and went, 67!
And that's going to be the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 46 of the Glory Days podcast. We are back.
We are.
For lack of a better term, or better words to describe it, a disappointing night last night.
Yeah.
Look, we've got a lot to get into today. A relatively short run sheet compared to what we're normally blessed with.
But, a lot to talk about, really.
There's not a lot to talk about apart from the fact that...
You could literally put on last week's episode and nothing would be different.
Exactly. And this is pretty much a near exact carbon copy of last week's episode.
We're not really giving the people the reason to stay and watch.
Well, you should stay and watch because we're going to have plenty of fun banter. I'm going to be rage baiting Will for the next hour and a half.
I got here 10 minutes late.
Because someone needs to set an alarm.
I did. I set an alarm.
Oh, sorry, guys. I woke up late.
Shut up. No, I was watching the Everton-Arsenal game, which was absolutely BS.
Yeah.
I went to the Glory Games. Shut up. And I set an alarm for 7, and I woke up, turned it off, put my head back down, thinking, okay, I'll get up now. I woke up and it said 7:30. I was like, oh no.
Whoopsie.
So, anyway.
All right. Well, we had plenty of thoughts from the viewers.
This is about to be like a third of the episode length. It's just going to be the fan comments from last night.
Probably, yeah.
That's fine. I'll get me out of here.
I don't want to be here.
So, Daniel Fieldgate, he said, concede early, dominate possession, huff and puff, but we have absolutely no answers against a low block. Same story as Sydney last week. Control without incision. Another game slips away. Lachlan, he said Caltac should have had 2 from 2 now. Once again, cross, even when they have one man down. Griffiths has to take the blame now. Timmins instead of Pennington in the middle was a god-awful move. Timmins made mistake after mistake. Lawrence and Pennington are both being wasted. Also, like to mention, I don't think we've broken a team down and scored all season. We've hit teams on breaks and scored a penalty, no?
Can we actually think of a time this season that we've actually broken a team down properly and scored?
We haven't. All of the goals that we've scored, if we're gonna branch it to just Griff, have pretty much all been transition moments.
The only one I can think of is the goal against the Wanderers, but even then that was just scrappy. That wasn't even breaking them down.
One of the Wanderers was literally a carbon copy of some of the other ones that we've scored, where we've been in our shape and then we've run the ball and then we've transitioned.
I'm not ready for this.
What?
I don't want to have talks about how the manager.
I don't want to talk about tactics.
No, let's go back to talking about. I want to talk about wins again.
I know.
It was so fun. It was so much fun.
It was another false dawn.
Baby, come back.
Jamal Lowe, he said, tragic up top. We are playing a lot better, but up front we are bad without Despo, Tags, and JK. Jordan, he said, in what world is subbing on Josh Risdon for Sam Sutton when you need a goal, a good move? Huge error from the Lion. Obviously, it's going to be difficult to win without 4 starters, but still a poor attacking effort. Only a Glory player could miss that header. When will the pain end? Yeah. Ethan, clearly didn't learn from last week, albeit Caltac shocker, should have made it 1-1. Pennington should have been the second striker all second half with his height. Taking off your best crosser when you've been spamming crosses is silly. Qua really needs to work on end product. He's been in the league long enough. Fiat multiplier. Caltac had a decent game, but backing off Goodwin for the goal and then the missed header. Sean, lacking the final ball, bit of quality up front, carbon copy of last week. Opponent scores and sets up behind the ball. Lachlan again said, genuinely felt like versing Sydney all over again. I know you boys will say Timmins was average, but he was really poor. We'll get on.
Don't worry.
So Adelaide,
stick around.
Adelaide did well to chip it up to the strikers with the first ball. Then their midfielders and wingers would win the second. Freeney needed help in the middle. James Merrin, only 3 points from 3 back-to-back home games is honestly a joke. Or back-to-back. And very unpopular opinion, but Scott Wooden is overrated. No, go fuck yourself. He's not.
James must defend his husband.
No.
I love Scott.
There's still a little bit more. He said defensively is very strong, but the moment we have the ball, or he has the ball, he's so slow to do anything with it, walks with the ball as if we're 3-0 up. It's not fair to just say that on one player.
He's not an attacking midfielder who's going to be quickly running. That's not his job.
Mr.
He's not, and we didn't bring Scott in to be a ball playing centre back. We brought him in to be that defensive marshal of the back who does his job aerially and on the ground and position himself off crosses.
I asked both of you to say can you name one particular wrong thing again he did last night defensively?
Not really.
Not really much.
I can't think of anything.
Maybe in terms of how we dealt with an Elsmo in the first half, I think we didn't handle that well at all.
But even then, Anselmo was more Kaltak's man. Jovanovic was getting marked heavy by. Jovanovic was getting marked heavy by
Woodwards at all. That was
I genuinely forgot Jovanovic was playing.
Absolutely.
But the criticism on the ball is fair, but it's not his forte. That's not what we're wanting him to do.
That's like saying, I think Suleimani's awful because he can't defend.
Yeah.
Okay, like he's not supposed to. So no, I'm not trying to have a go, but I'm just like that's.
It's like criticizing Haaland because he doesn't beat enough defenders in a 1v1 dribble.
Exactly, it's not his job. Like,
we had a couple more comments from.
I did just compare Scott Wootton to Erling Haaland. Let's ignore that.
That was right. I remember my Lewandowski comparison a few podcast episodes ago.
Stephen Curry is Adam Taggart.
Adam Taggart is like Stephen Curry, guys.
Actually.
They play different sports.
Oh my god. Puckle said, if Caltech pulls another shit header on goal, I'm going to cry. Tom, as most have said, our front line is just dreadful. Lawrence is a bit hit and miss, huh? Michael Orwell, it will come, as the vicar said.
I don't think that. I think Lawrence did the best he could in the situation. Like look, let's be honest. His attacking options weren't exactly like.
I think he had no help.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He had no help. So eventually,
help me.
No.
He just went from like, I could pass this to Osler or Suleimani, or I could just shoot and see if I can get it on target. Every time it was on target for a corner.
Yeah.
So it's not like he could have made those passes, but he was also just like, I know I have a better chance of scoring for myself. I'm just going to do it.
He just thought, fuck it. So
better than last week when he wouldn't do it. He was continually trying to pass it in when that wasn't working. So anyway,
there was that shot in the first half though. That one where he gets crossed to him at the back stick and he tries to side foot it.
Yeah.
Instead of just fucking slamming it, bro.
I think that like when you miss Steph Curry gravitating around the box to give him that space, you see what happens.
Yes.
You shut down Tom Lawrence, you shut down the attack. And that's kind of what happened.
We're kind of touching it a little bit more, but we were really bitching about it up at the top with just whenever we were about to cross, there was no kind of coordination in terms of who's going to run where or what the plan is once we get the ball out wide, because there were loads of times where when the players would get into the box, it's like, well, hope and pray a pinpoint perfect delivery is going to come in, and then when it obviously doesn't come in, it's like, oh, well, we're kind of going to stand around like nothing. So that was the shitty thing. But just to start off, can we get some initial thoughts on the game?
Will, would you like to start?
William?
No.
Yes.
It was just very similar to last week, but the problem is that you can't have a similar performance against Adelaide like you did against Sydney, right? So we were applauding the Sydney performance as we played the best team in the league and we just couldn't quite crack the door.
Yeah.
Right? I remember that whole thing. Cracked. Then you have the exact same performance against a much lesser opponent.
Yeah.
We now can't say, well, we gave it a red hot go against Adelaide. That's not okay. We can't have that discussion because it doesn't work anymore. And I will say it's kind of concerning that we had two very similar performances against arguably a much weaker opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So is it now no longer a case of what I said before a few podcasts ago where I was like, at least we can compete against anyone in the league with our style of play? That's still true. We can compete. But are we just going to have the same results over and over and over again if we concede early, no matter who we're playing? Because all they have to do is play a low block, which is not necessarily a tactical masterclass. It's just putting everyone behind the ball. So my initial thoughts are that it was, again, a valiant effort without three of your main attackers able to play, including four if you include Bozza as someone who can play those passes into the attack.
I'd say four if you include Despo, five if you include Bozza. You got Tags, Kaczarski, Wales, and Despo.
That's fair. Like our defense was fine. Like we conceded a long range shot from Craig Goodwin and saved a penalty too. Which and when are we going to touch on the refereeing display?
Towards the end.
Okay. Well, can we not do it now so all the viewers can see? Or do we have to wait to the end?
You know what? Let's do it now. Let's do it now. I want to do it now.
Some very choice words, and I used them last night when I shouldn't have.
Oops! Someone didn't know that there were families around.
Yeah, but what the fuck was that? This guy might be the worst. I've watched football for so long, right?
Yeah.
So long. I watched games every weekend for like the last 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding when I say to you that might be a worse performance than the grand final game. The Brisbane Glory grand final game with that dive. That might be a worse performance. How do you have someone being thrown to the floor and a handball in the same like play, neither of them are even looked at or given. It's not even just the referee on the ground. It's the VAR too. What's the point of it?
Yep.
If you're not going to check very blatant, obvious things. We had JK the week before, where the referee's an idiot and thinks shoulder barging is now illegal.
And blows the whistle before the goal goes in, so it can't be checked.
So it can't be checked. Then you have two blatant fouls. Even if one of them, you could argue they were both tussling, that handball, there is no rule that says that's not a handball. His arm is out in an unnatural position, and he controls it with his arm and then kicks it away. How? I genuinely don't understand how that's not checked or given or... okay. My dad was at the game.
Yep.
He's a very composed man. He's hasn't lost his love of football, but growing up, he was obviously much more into it. He kind of checks the scores of Liverpool every weekend, and he goes, "Oh, okay, we're winning or we're losing." Doesn't really care about the glory, right? Not a very passionate guy when it comes to football.
Yep.
He lost it.
Can I just... Adam Griffiths said actually something fairly interesting about that non-penalty call. He said, "I definitely saw that Kikianis almost cradled the ball like it was a baby, like a nice, gentle baby."
Thanks, Lion. That's great, buddy. Thank you.
Just thought I'd add that.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nice, gentle baby.
He's not wrong, though. Like, genuinely, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
And like my dad...
You could catch it and it wouldn't be given a penalty.
Like this guy, I need you to understand the context of this man. He never loses his cool. He's always quiet. This guy used to run a church, right?
Yep.
He's just so relaxed.
Next minute, fuck off.
No, he didn't swear, but he went, "You're an idiot!" Like in front of all the children, just yelled as loud as he could. And I was like, whoa. And that's how you know it's bad, when one of the coolest heads on the planet loses his mind. It was disgusting. And if that's the level, like this is the top you can play as a referee in the country, right? This is the highest level of refereeing you can do. If this is the standard, again, I say this, we're never going to improve as a country when it comes to football, because you cannot allow football to develop as a country if you have a bunch of idiots officiating the game.
That's it.
Because that game is a completely different ball game. If you give that penalty and we score that, it's 1-1. Adelaide can't play the low block, at least not effectively, because they're going to want to hit on the counter.
Yeah.
It's back to, in my opinion, I'm not going to be too harsh on the players or even Griffo, because in my opinion, it is back-to-back games that have been completely swayed by awful decisions. Like, that is a penalty every day of the week. It just is. And that is more than likely 1-1. Then it's a whole different ballgame. I'm not saying that it doesn't excuse the fact that we can't beat a low block. That's a whole different thing to talk about.
Yep.
But you can't attack well and not be rewarded for it by dumb decisions and then completely blame the players and the manager when it's the referee that's ruined the game again.
And this is why I want to give a lot of credit to Suleimani in particular for his performance last night, because I actually thought he did quite well in a bit of a shit situation. He was an absolute pest. I thought he created a lot of problems for a makeshift centre-back pairing. But I completely agree with you. And look, I saw a lot of people say as well, the intention to handball is not there. Intention for handball hasn't been a thing in like 7, 8, 9, like God knows how many years. Intention in a handball hasn't been a thing in at least the last 5 to 10 years.
It should
absolutely
at the very least, it should have had a look from
VAR.
No, 100%. That's the stupid thing.
I understand if like him and if Kikianis and Suleimani are like sort of like shouldering for the ball and it just sort of like rolls off his arm, whatever. It's the fact that his arm is outstretched, holding on to Suleimani, and it then comes off of the arm. He then uses the arm to turn Suleimani away and then clears the ball as the ball comes off of his arm.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. Because what is Suleimani supposed to do in that case? If the defender has stuck out his arm,
which is a foul,
which, you know, forget about drag him down.
Yeah.
The defender has stuck out his arm. Yep. Suleimani then can't get in because he's being held back by an arm. Yep. The ball is then controlled by that arm, preventing Suleimani from being able to turn and actually make contact with the ball.
Yeah.
The ball has then come off of that arm and popped perfectly into the position for Kikianis to clear it. Yeah. So what is Suleimani supposed to do in that situation? And I understand if you don't want to give it like straight away on field, if you don't see it or whatever. But the fact that the decision was checked so incredibly quickly is what pisses me off. Because the referees
waved away very quickly.
The referees clearly do not take time to properly deliberate these decisions. And we see this consistently throughout the A-League.
Well, they're too whistle happy. So like in that same example with JK last week, they're too keen to make a decision rather than actually, well, let's let the play unfold.
Yeah.
And then
what's ridiculous as well is that the A-League was one of the first leagues to roll out VAR.
Yeah.
Yes, we were, yeah.
So we've had more time than any league in the world to get adapted to VAR and the importance of being able to have that extra time to make the decision and the importance of actually being able to sort of put faith in the VAR team to overturn these kinds of calls.
Sure.
So why are our referees still so whistle happy? I understand if they're concerned about criticism and stuff like that for not being able to make calls or making soft calls or whatever, but you need to take proper time to deliberate this. And we've had a lot of talk about this on the podcast as of recent weeks as to the quality of refereeing. Yeah. This isn't like a funding thing. This isn't something that's going to be
an education thing.
Exactly. It's an education thing for one, but I also think it's a problem with character. I think there's a serious lack of character among A-League referees. I've not seen an A-League referee bar Alex King and Jared Gillett that is anything but a fucking coward, honestly. I've not seen any sort of imposing force to actually impose himself on a game and say, hold on.
But you mean like a ref that can control the game, right?
No, I need refs I want refs that can control the game, but I also want refs that aren't just going to take shit from players. I want refs that are confident in their decision making, but also humble enough to say, hold on, give it some time in case I've got this wrong. Refs are too quick to make their call and say, no, I couldn't possibly get this one wrong. Let's wave it off and fucking go again. Take the fucking time.
Because I wonder if VAR afterwards were in the referee's ear and went, hold on, we think you should have another look at this, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong with how VAR works, but obviously Sam Kelly said, that's the referee. He said, no, with that handball. Surely at that point, once the phase of play is dead, you then get something from the VAR who are looking at it back and go, actually, we recommend an on-field review.
That's the problem, because once the player's restarted, then there's no possibility to go back and look at it because the play has restarted. I just don't understand why they haven't at least taken like an extra half minute. Because that was immediate. That wasn't like a half minute to judge. It was like a straight away just like, nah, let's go.
Yeah.
So what was the point?
I think a lot of the referees aren't, I could be wrong, but they don't seem to want to be wrong, obviously. So they won't accept that they are wrong, and they'll ignore any.
Yeah. Well, I think probably what would be ideal is if we could get a bit of clarification from the refs on that process as to in that moment, because you know how John Moss has come out, the head of refereeing, and he explains certain decisions, and it's like maybe he should come out at some point and explain the process.
I know this is cliche. I think genuinely, and this isn't just me saying it for a laugh. I genuinely think post-match interviews for on-field referees would change a lot about refereeing culture in this country. Because there's one thing that pisses me off about referees, and it's a lack of accountability. Because we always hear around the league how we have the worst refereeing standard. I cannot think of a country that has worse refereeing standards than Australia. The only country I can think of that has worse refereeing standards is back in 2002 during the Japan and South Korea World Cup. That is the only time where I've seen consistent and obvious lack of standards. And even then, that wasn't lack of standards. That was because of a match-fixing scandal.
Yeah, of course.
I've not seen just pure incompetence like this anywhere else in the world. And I know we can say England, whatever. No, England compared to this is like comparing gold to shit.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely disgusting. It's clear that there's a different standard of refereeing, and it's something that we do need to improve. But I think to bring it back to the game, for as much as it was a shit decision, I don't think it would have. The game hinged on whether he gave the penalty or not, because the only point where I'd contest it is that we were struggling even beforehand to really create anything that impactful and really get positive touches in Adelaide's box. Sometimes we'd get some touches here and there, but it seems like it was like almost like a once in a blue moon sort of scenario that we would find Suleimani in a good position inside the box. So I think it's more so something that. Of course, the Glory players and the staff can feel aggrieved that we didn't get that decision from the referee. But you
should have scored a goal anyway.
Even afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you should have
particularly as well, because we will touch about it with Matt Sutton's penalty save. That the stadium really got involved and it was really loud. But it's like we didn't capitalize off of that momentum. No. So
the moral of the story: bring in post-match interviews for referees because I want to see more accountability.
Because this is something I've just thought about.
Yep.
The handball we got against the Jets.
That was pretty dubious.
Yeah. What is a handball?
They've overdone the rules.
I do want to say something. As a former referee myself, who refereed to quite a decent degree, I will say this. Yeah. Year on year, one of the biggest factors as to why you have so many referees that step away from the game, so many young referees as well, is abuse. Yeah. And a big thing of that is the fact that players, as well as coaches, as well as referees, don't understand the rules anymore. Yeah. And I'll explain why. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a rant, but we got time, so bear with me here, please, guys. So I'm sorry about this. For the people at home, you need to understand something. Football is one of the only sports in the world in which the rules for a large portion are entirely subjective. Apart from obvious rules you have as to if ball goes out, players restarted with throw in or corner or goal kick or whatever. Yeah. So many rules are subjective. Offside is entirely subjective on the referee's decision. You have stuff like just, fouls, yellow carding, time wasting. Everything is entirely subjective in terms of referee view. Yep. The problem with something like handball is the fact that football fans have, and increasing complaints and changing of standards of refereeing and introduction of VAR and stuff like that has changed the way that the handball rules work. The handball rules, at least when I was a referee, I stopped refereeing about a year or two ago to take up like coaching more often, but for the 4 years leading up to that, the handball rule changed every single season. Yes. For 4 years straight. Yeah. First, it was intent. Then it was natural position. Yeah. Then it was then there was shit like what part of the field are you doing it in? Then they include does it pop off of another part of the body? Yeah. Then it was proximity. Yeah. There's so many factors that get added in that it's not possible for consistent decisions to be made year on year. And the issue with that is that you have players that don't understand these rule changes because they're not explained to them. You have coaches that are having to adapt to these rule changes and are seeing things from past and saying, well, this was a handball, why is this not? Yes. And you have referees that a lot of them, and you'll see this at every level in local sport, a lot of referees aren't up to date on these rules. And this is an education thing as well. Yeah. You have referees all around the country that will say shit like, if there's a possible handball, they'll say he didn't do it on purpose, there was no intent. Or, it was in a natural position and stuff like that. There's referees that have different viewing of rules, and that's fine because the rules are subjective. But the problem is that the actual building blocks and foundation of those subjective decisions needs to be consistent. And when it's inconsistent, it's because these rules keep changing. So your foundation and your decision making has to change year on year, and that's incredibly difficult for referees. But what is not acceptable is that you have professional referees coming out here and making decisions that are entirely based on opinion, but aren't giving the proper time for these opinions to actually be vetted by VAR. And when you have decisions that are entirely subjective, as footballing refereeing decisions are, you need to give proper time to allow for correction of human error. That is what VAR is there for. It is to correct human error. That's what it was brought in for. That's why it's still around.
It's something that has to be improved. So I think, we'll...
I had a point there, but honestly...
It's almost a moot point because it's
a moot point.
And broadly back to the game to just kind of draw it back. It's like, again, I think if we're relying on that being like as the explanation for why we didn't get more from the game, then I think we're not.
Not at all.
We're not discussing the real issue, which is what a lot of the viewers, which were rightly pointing out. At the end of the game,
it's just frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and it definitely feels like we're not getting the rub of the green at the moment. So we may as well touch on the lineup. So there were, 4 changes? Yeah, 4 changes, including a late change. So it was Taggart, Kaczarski, Risdon, and then in the warm-up, Bozanovsky out. And we spoke to Reese at the end. It was a groin issue, I think.
Just a little groin issue, but he said he's hoping to be back next week.
Yeah, we need him back.
Let's have a talk about the physio later again, guys.
And then Sam Sutton, Cal Timmins, Trent Osler, and Arion Soleimani came in. Hey. Can we get some initial thoughts on the lineup? What did we think?
Until Bozanovsky was out, I actually thought that was pretty much ideal as to what we could go for. I'm surprised that we didn't see Blair in the squad. I'll be completely honest with you. But if we were looking for more of a straight swap for Taggart, I think Soleimani was about as close as we were going to get. Look, when you're missing 4 attackers from your squad,
your best attack pretty much bar Tom Lawrence.
Yeah, literally your first choice front 4 bar Tom Lawrence. Obviously, it's going to be makeshift. Obviously, it's going to be, low tempo. Obviously, it's going to be shit. But for the lineup that we put out, bar Bozanovsky having to go out because of an injury and Timmins coming in, I actually thought that was pretty much perfect. I did have another problem with the bench though, and this is another thing. I don't understand the decision making of Griffiths, and I'm going to get onto this. We're going to get onto this later when we talk about the substitutes, and I've got a point to make on this. But I really want to understand Griffo's thinking on some selections as to why guys like Adriano Labib aren't coming in, because when I'm thinking about that late stage, when you're chasing a game, you're 1-0 down, you know, you need, and he was having like Shamoon attacking the back post for headers. You know who would have really been good there attacking that back post against Ryan Kitto? Fucking Adriano Labib would have been really good. You know who would have been good to sort of match up against DeCooley and Goodwin with that pace? Adriano Labib. He would have been really good there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not in the squad. And we spoke to Woods as well. Apparently he picked up a bit of a knock after
he did
the Newcastle game. Labib. He picked up a bit of a knock, but he's back full fit.
I think
he's back full fit.
I think
Labib himself said that he was fit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think the point about Labib is that I think he should be involved on, let's say, the bench. But I think in terms of the balance of the fullbacks, and we were kind of having this discussion during the game, it was like the function of the fullback and what Griff is wanting. He's going to want his fullbacks to cross the ball in most of the time.
No, I understand that.
And I get the argument about the defensive side of things in terms of keeping up with his speed. But even then, like because we'll eventually touch on it for the penalty that DeCooley won, we had our three quickest players in Caltac and the two fullbacks that were trying to chase DeCooley down, and neither of them could get close to him. So
yeah, but like.
I think a large portion of that is just the fact that DeCooley made an uncontested run. Like there was no sort of pressure put on him.
We'll touch on that because that's a bigger point that I want to mention.
Just on the bib. Like, I just needed to refresh my brain on who the subs were. You're telling me that he doesn't get on the bench over like...
Speaking to the microphone, Will.
Sorry. You're telling me he doesn't get on the bench over Diabro. I don't know how to say it. Diabriu.
Yeah.
Look, don't go, he didn't have a bad game. There's nothing against him. But in terms of like solid players we know who can play at A-League level, you're telling me he doesn't get him over him or Riley Fox? Like you know.
And I like Riley Fox as well.
Too, but like, in terms of quality,
he hasn't played a single appearance longer than 5 minutes compared to Labib, who has started games.
My only theory is that, again, we kind of touched on it, I think, last week in terms of training. We don't know how Adriano is training, and there may be the possibility that Griff is choosing the bench kind of on merit potentially, because we don't know. We can't say for sure because we don't know. But and of course we can say it is unfair that Adriano isn't getting more game time, given how last season he was quite integral towards the back end. But either he's not doing something well in training, or maybe Riley is smashing it out the door.
But I would just love to get an answer from Griff though.
Yeah, of course.
Not a single journalist has questioned them on this as well. No,
this is the guy who was supposed to be our next big thing, and
exactly. We were over the off season. We were talking about him getting a $1 million plus move to RB Salzburg.
Yeah.
And now he's omitted from the squad entirely.
It's the silence is deafening.
Yeah, it is concerning. Yeah. In terms of broadly everything else with the lineup, were we happy with the Pennington at left wing experiment?
No. Oh my gosh, no. Right. What are we doing? Right? Like you've
started something.
You did this, right?
You did this.
Why are we doing this? Why are we putting our best central players on the wing? Tom Lawrence was wasted on the wing too, in my opinion. Put him centrally. Why are we saying, "Hey Trent, you can go central"? What are we doing?
I think the better question is more so when it comes to shape, because Griff had an interview earlier on in the week, and the article was released on the day of the game, and I found this really interesting. So it's from Ben Smith. So in the article, and go check it out if you haven't already. It was Griffiths was a centre back or defensive midfielder in his playing days, yet when he began his coaching journey, it was the vertical possession-based, movement-heavy, attacking philosophies of Maurizio Sarri, Marcelo Bielsa, Luciano Spalletti, and Jorge Sampaoli that spoke to him the most. That for me was like, oh, that's interesting, because for as much as those guys kind of have fixed ideas of football, when it comes to shape, they're not stubborn with communicating their ideas via shape.
Yeah.
And so I think something that I'd love to see from Griff is, let's try and experiment a little bit more with shape. If we can communicate our ideas a little bit better via shape, because I think Peno was wasted out wide as a winger. I think it was wasted out wide.
I hope that's the end of the experiment now.
And it's like, I would have loved to have seen like a diamond, like a diamond in midfield, because I think Peno,
Even you could admit, Alex.
No,
stupid.
Because Peno as an
I've
8,
had enough.
where he can play up and down, and even let's say if Brandon O'Neill was like that quarterback, I think that probably could have been something.
Where was Brandon O'Neill?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where was he?
That would have been ideal.
That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Oh my God. We struggle to break down these low blocks, but we don't include our best defensive deep lying playmakers, man. Like, what are we doing?
Our bench, I can easily think of 3 players you can swap out in terms of quality. I'm not saying that they deserve it purely based on who they are. If he's going off of merit, that's fine. But, you can.
I'm confused how Brandon doesn't even get to be on the bench.
Right. Like, you can swap out, I don't know, like.
I understand if he's still on parental leave, but.
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a genuine question. Cause
I would like to know.
Like, Diabreu, is it Diabreu?
Diabreu.
Diabreu, right? For Brano.
Yeah.
Popovich for now.
It was a late call up, obviously. With
of course it was, but also that's why you got Brandon O'Neill.
He didn't even have a suit, by the way, coming out.
No. Popovich,
he had a polo shirt.
Popovich for Blair and Labib for Fox. That's 3 straight swaps that make the bench so much more deeper and actually more effective instantly.
Probably.
No.
Definitely.
You got 3 A-League players.
But in terms of what their impact would have been on the pitch, I doubt it would have been much different.
I think Nat Blair would have done a great job purely because of his height. Because of all the crosses we were doing, get him and Labib in the box for those crosses. If that's what we're going to do.
But how many of those crosses were actually getting to, when Gabby eventually came on, how many of those crosses were actually going
the back stick
to a zone where he was near? And we'll touch on this again towards the end, but none of our crosses were really that, like we have an idea as to where we're trying to aim with a cross. It was more
just
like
putting it in the box.
Like even some of the crosses that we were watching in the warm-up, I was like, fuck, that's against no opposition, no pressure. That's the quality of some of our crosses. And it's like, are we really working on the right ideas as
you
to
look
how
at Sydney's warm-ups, contested like headers out of the box to sort of set up in a low block compared to us, where it's uncontested attacking transition.
Well, teams know how to deal with us now. And that's why when I said last week our ceiling is 1 goal a game, I wasn't saying like we can't do more than 1 goal, but that's based on the numbers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Emphatically,
that's
kind of our
and
ceiling.
we've seen that now with one of the worst defenses in the league, in my opinion, with Adelaide.
Well, they leak
and a makeshift double back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the worst plus a makeshift. Like that's to not score at least 1 is poor. Extremely.
So on the game itself, I thought we were very sloppy with how we started.
That is what the paper says. Yes.
Yeah. I thought. Adelaide, just the way that they were looking to hit, is it Anselmo or Anselmo? What's his name, Alex? Anselmo, that's right.
It's Anselmo, but you put it as Anselmo. I don't know. Even though I kept correcting you.
Sorry, my friend.
It's me, Anselmo, not Elmo.
So the Brazilian. So he was killing us.
No.
Yeah. He was killing us throughout the whole game.
The one thing that killed me was how simple it was as well.
Yeah,
this is like, I said this to you, this is Route 1 like Sunday League.
But how many
boot it to the big boy and let him win the contested
But he was
header.
getting killed. Every header he got off, someone would leave an elbow or something.
No, but the thing is, like, despite that, he cooked the shit out of us that entire first half.
But even my dad was saying...
He's 36.
Yep.
36 years of age.
He's the same guy. Bro, he was getting beaten every header. He's on the floor. He's getting kicked. He's getting shoved.
I don't think it wasn't until after then when Brian just thought, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna leave a mark on him at this point. And
but even Woods was going off for heads and just going boom, and he's on the floor going, oh, like it wasn't even like he was diving. He was getting.
I think that's where we really missed someone like Bozanowski to deal with those second balls, or those first or second balls, I should say, because I think our midfield had no edge whatsoever. I thought we were very easy to play against. I thought we were really poor when it came to our duels, and I think it was unlike us because that's been a noticeable change under Griff, where we've been far more combative and we've actually won our duels rather than sprinting like headless chickens like we were under
I always want to back the young like WA produced boys, but this was not Callum Timmins' game, man. Like he just did not have a good performance.
Can you name a game that has been?
I think he's made some good like substitute cameos here and there. This was just not a good game. This was just really not a good game.
We got warned. We got told this by a certain Newcastle Jets fan that when we got him, he wouldn't be a starting player because he just doesn't seem to have.
No, but I think there are games in which he can start. I just think that he can't. It depends what his function is. I agree. I think he's best in a. I don't think he suits this double pivot.
I think he's better in a 3 because he's
better in a 3.
Because we may as well touch on Goodwin's goal.
He is way too quick to jump. He is like.
Well,
he just gets dragged out so easily.
It was early on in the game where there was a second ball and he got it and he ran into a player and then he tried to nutmeg that guy instead of like looking to pass out and then got hit in the face and then he was lying on the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just think I don't know, maybe because he's not played a fair bit recently, has he?
No.
So and look, he's probably coming in cold to give him the benefit of the doubt. But but in terms of a performance, it was poor.
It was dire, and in comparison to what we had with Bozza, like
who hasn't really put a foot wrong.
Yeah, so you would have had to have a perfect game to even come close to what we've been seeing with Bozza. So it's an unfortunate position to be put in, but also, as I say most weeks, your job is to, if you're not playing, is to stay fit and stay ready. And if you're not doing that,
and when your chance comes, you have to take it.
And if you don't, then well, tough luck, mate.
So for Goodwin's goal, I thought, and because we were looking at it at halftime just to see more of the replay, but the ball got to De Cooley, and then Timmins comes out like a bat out of hell, gets done very easily. Goodwin is able to slip in behind him, and then Goodwin receives the ball. I hated how he backed off.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be backing off. We should be trying to close down the space.
Yeah.
Don't allow the shot. And then when the deflection comes in, there's only so much that Matt Sutton, who's been faultless, can do. But
also don't give, like, the game plan should just be, as a rule of thumb, don't give Craig Goodwin any space to do anything. We should have done our homework. He's like the only thing he's not the only guy who does anything for Adelaide on the attack anyway. If he sets up someone because you got to press him to get the ball off him and they score. Yeah. Okay, you live with that. Don't give him an opportunity to do something because when you do, this is exactly what happens. Like,
and one thing that annoys me so much for that goal is just the immaturity around the whole thing. Because like I know we're going to bang on about Callum Timmins here, but when you watch back the goal, you see Shamoon's standing up his man into Cooley. You then see Timmins leave his man
and then sprint
over to create a needless 2v1 when instead of that, Osler, who was originally marking Goodwin,
and then should have come back to help.
Should then have come back, circled around and created that double team. Timmins then takes the runner, which is Craig Goodwin, who then is not able to get into the space. But since Timmins just dives in and then Osler doesn't track back and track that runner, the ball is just so simple. Yep. It's so incredibly simple. And that's what pisses me off about it. It's just like, and it's similar. Why are you making that jump in the first place?
Is that not very similar to how we conceded the goal last week against Sydney? That same kind of area where midfielders were probably not really focusing on the man that sort of drifted out a little bit behind them. It's something that we need to work on because I think otherwise defensively, I thought for the most part, we didn't do a heck of a lot wrong.
No, not really at all. No.
I wrote down that Tom Lawrence was our only real threat to goal.
Shock. I think Suleimani looked good. I like the sort of let me just say, start of the game, first like 20, 25 minutes, awful, terrible.
Too slow to jump.
He was so incredibly still. He would just stand in line with the centre back, not move and look to receive the ball.
Not be first to the ball.
But in credit to him, he actually adapted. He got in short. When the ball got to the feet of whether it was Pennington, Lawrence or whatever, he then turned and made his run through. And that led to two of the opportunities for a penalty. One of which I think should have been given, but that's neither here nor there.
Done that,
Yep.
But then there was another opportunity where he receives the ball to feet and does a beautiful flicked ball over to Osler, who then could convert.
On another day, if he doesn't get the block, I think it looked like it was going to go in bottom corner, to be fair.
I thought Suleimani had a good game. I know a lot of Glory fans are going to give him shit because he's not Adam Taggart, and of course he's not Adam Taggart.
I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument is like, what actually are you offering aside from movement? Because again, we had this sort of discussion during the game, but it was like, I loved his runs into the channels, and that was something that we really did need. But I also think our attack lacked a focal point. We lack someone with a bit of presence. And it's like with Suleimani, it's like once you get the ball, okay, now do something with the fuck.
That's my thing. I like the movement, but like I have, this is no offense to the guy, but like I don't have like the confidence or like the thought that he's going to shoot and score.
Yep.
I don't have that.
We thought that as well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well done, good movement. You have the ball now. But I know what's happening next. You're either going to lose it.
The better question, then what question he never answers.
Like, okay, well done, you have it, and then what? That's why I'm being a bit critical here, because your job is to be a striker that puts the balls away in the back of the net, right? That's why we brought you in.
Shoot fucking.
Yeah, that basically. Like, great movement, but now what?
Yep.
Like, what's the point? If you're going to make all that movement, do something with it. Don't just give it away. Like, my
struggle as well is why we have someone like Max Naylor in the academy who had a phenomenal season with the NPL squad last season
and can't
get a look in with the first team.
I don't know. I just it's a conversation for another day. But I think it's we need to really think about our
Jack, let's talk
pathway.
about it right now for another hour and then forget it. Let's do that.
we need to improve our pathway for WA players, because it's like Naylor's had a great season. I think a couple other boys have had great seasons with the amount of goals that they've scored. It's like
sure.
I think for Suleimani, he can definitely say, well, hey, I'm not getting a lot of great service to actually shoot.
Yep.
Because I can't recall many shots that Suleimani's had since he's played.
Has he had a shot for the Glory?
I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. I don't know if he's actually had a shot.
I don't think he did.
Did he? I've got
He
it
might have
now.
done. Actually.
He had one shot.
When?
A header that was blocked in the 36th minute.
Yeah, cold. All right.
So, yeah, that was disappointing. Lawrence, he had that volley that came to him that went straight at the goalkeeper. The De Cooley penalty. So, again, if I'm Adam Griffiths, I'm going, my pressing shape is kind of all over the place, which was something that he fixed up well last week, but just the way that I think Cal Timmins either wasn't unsure, he was either unsure what his defensive role was in the pressing shape, or he wasn't executing, because De Cooley kind of dropped off, and that was something that we noticed because they were looking to ping it to I can't say that. Anselmo.
Yeah.
Ball was getting pinged up to him, and then someone would always be there ready to either receive the ball underneath or in behind.
Yep.
And that moment when it was De Cooley running in behind, Anselmo, great flick in behind.
Yeah.
None of our players could catch up. You were thinking that Matt Sutton should have come out a little bit earlier?
Yeah, I thought Suts could have come out a little bit earlier there, but you don't want to put too much of the blame on the keeper, because the fact that De Cooley has made an unadulterated
that
run
easily that's a concern.
It is a concern, and look, I understand De Cooley's pacey. He's going to get in behind. He's going to look to do that, especially off the flick off the big man.
Yep.
But you can't give him an uncontested sprint at the keeper. Like, you give Matt Sutton just that little bit of extra time. You hold off De Cooley just a little bit. Someone
apply a bit of pressure to him, like not foul him obviously, but like try and like bump him off or something, rather than just like.
It's just the fact that his run wasn't tracked, I think, for me, and there was such a big gap between the actual midfield and the defensive line for that penalty that it was just really, really disappointing. Again, just really, really disappointing.
But a great save by Matt Sutton.
Oh, fantastic save.
Brilliant save.
Huge. And so I think Griff confirmed in the post-game press conference that he expects that Sutton will be staying beyond January.
Good, because he's genuinely one of the best keepers in the league.
Easily.
Yeah.
So,
good news.
Second half, yeah. So Lawrence had the chance where he cut inside, and it was like, oh shit! I was immediately thinking of one of his goals that he scored for Derby County, where he cut in. I was thinking, oh shit, top corner easily. But great save by the goalkeeper. Congrats to Diabrio, who made his debut and decided to make a great first impression by snapping Dylan Parias' knee. So obviously, our thoughts are with Dylan, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery, because it looked pretty gnarly on the replay. Because I was like, that's a great crunching tackle. That's fantastic. We were loving it. And then they just happened to show the replay in slow motion. I was like, oh, a knee's not meant to go that way. No. So
is the knee meant to be outside of the leg?
I was like, shit.
Yeah, that was a rough one. But look, it was completely clean tackle.
That's what you want.
Completely clean.
I want my midfielder to leave a fucking mark.
You want that kind of energy. You want that kind of urgency from any player coming on, let alone a teenager making his A-League debut. That's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, I'm not condoning the fact that tackle obviously might have.
You can condone the tackle. It's sad that
the
outcome's really sad.
Yeah,
but condone that tackle.
The intent was great to go in hard.
Obviously
bang.
It was the right idea, but it's just unfortunate how it ended. For
of course.
I will say it was like he had a decent debut. I will say, but
looked very assured on the ball.
He did, but
what?
Oh, there was just this one little thing about it where I was just like, okay, you can see that he's a teenager making his debut.
Oh, is it the volley?
Every chance he got to shoot from outside the box, he just took. Like he didn't compose himself. He didn't let himself take a second on the ball. He was like, I'm shooting this. Like, that's okay.
Rush of blood.
Oh. And that's all right. And I don't mind it. It's all right. But it's also like, this is so obviously a kid who's debuting for the team, and he just wants to make a good impression.
I was the night.
Yeah, that. Literally. I think he had 3 attempts. All of them were just
there was one where it like bounced, and then I think he had the volley, but he caught too much underneath it and just sort of like top spinned over. So
there were 3 different tries. Oh, and the first one I was like, yeah, fair enough, mate. First shot, give it a go. The other 2 I was like, all right, now we're like 5 minutes left in the game. Just Maybe just put the ball back in the box.
Yeah.
When it's like when you're 3-0 up in the Champions League final in FIFA and you bring on that 50 rated.
Yes.
That's
been
like,
big-
how
yeah.
funny would it be if I get him a goal?
Yeah.
Um,
but very good debut though. Well done, mate. Well done.
Madonna, stupid red card. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking of.
Yeah.
Kung Fu kicking Shabelle Shamoon.
Is he wearing a headband or is that his hair?
No, he's wearing a headband.
Okay, good.
Headband with dreads.
Dreads. Okay, that's what I thought.
So that was stupid.
Could you imagine if that was his hair?
I don't know.
He had to paint
I
it
need
on.
to see someone with
Yeah.
that haircut now. Just hair that grows along here
my God.
as a headband.
He's got aura though. I can't lie. He looks cool.
He looks like a pretty non-dread head.
Yeah, right.
So Adelaide defended with a back five towards the end of the game. Brian Kaltak missed the best chance of the game. It was a great header from Pennington across the box.
Mate.
Can we just touch on the Brian Kaltak chance quickly, please?
Sure, of course. Right.
If you head it and don't get it on target, it's unfortunate. It sucks. And I want you to score from there. He missed the ball, bro.
Took his eyes off it.
He closed his eyes and said a prayer, and he missed the ball.
To be fair to the keeper did well to distract him. I think that's what he didn't want to run into the keeper, hence why.
That's what it looked like to
But
me
also,
as
like that's
well.
what my dad said, and I was like, okay, that's fine, but if the keeper doesn't want to get clobbered with the header, then the keeper shouldn't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not on. That's not on Brian. That's not a foul. He's gone up for the header of the keeper.
Yeah.
If that's a foul on the keeper, if Brian hits him because the keeper's under his legs, so he's
Yeah.
gonna hit him. That's back-to-back weeks now where he's had a gilt edge chance with a header and he's just fluffed it.
Yeah. These stats that I'm going to read off are going to probably infuriate you even more. So
Shut up then.
final third and penalty area entries. Here we go. So we had 70 final third entries to Adelaide's 38. Penalty area entries, we had 50. They had 10.
Right. Okay.
Adelaide did not have a shot after the 58th minute.
I'll let you continue, but this is the point I was going to make.
Yep.
This whole point I was going to make, but you may continue. Is that the stats?
Those are the stats.
Okay,
yeah.
right. This is where I actually can't. I don't have it in me, at least offensively, to blame Griffo.
I do. Fuck it.
No. Okay.
3-year deal.
In terms of the lineup, okay, I understand what he's going for. He wants quality on the wings.
Sorry, just one more stat. 41 touches in. We had 41 touches in Adelaide's box. They had 9 in ours.
Yeah, brilliant.
So there you go.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. It's like I don't know how much of the blame for this loss I can actually put on Griffo, because watching the game, and I don't know if you guys agree with me here or not, I think I understand his philosophy or his idea in terms of, okay, a lot of our main attackers are out. I'm going to put quality that we have on the wings to create that space out wide, and then just hope my guys in the middle, like your Oslers and Silamanis or your Popoviches, I can't believe I just said that, can just put one away off of a Lawrence or Pennington good ball, right?
Yep.
The first part worked. Lawrence and Pennington were putting in pretty good balls into the box, dangerous balls which could have gone anywhere and then got into the back of the net. It's just the guys in the middle couldn't put it away, right? Because like you can't put balls into the 6 yard, the penalty area 50 times and not get something out of it. And that's not, I just can't blame Griffo. And I'm not saying that he was a tactical masterclass, but at the end of the day, 50 balls into the box.
So
I mean,
an entry doesn't necessarily mean a cross. It's just the amount of times that we made it into their
and that's
box.
fine.
So we had
getting there
33. We had 33 crosses the whole game.
Yes.
12 were accurate, which is somewhat of an improvement, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not awful.
But it's that kind of broader issue where it's like we talked about this with JK at the end, where it's like we don't create the optimal conditions for a good chance to begin with. So it's like cross, and you can probably say there's a fair bit of individual quality that is lacking. I would 100% say that. And look, I know it's a bit of a sledge against the guys that were out there and they were trying their best, but it's like it's not enough.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying though?
Absolutely, it's not on. I don't think
this is not on Griffo at all. I think he played he played the game well.
Here's the better question. Adam Griffiths, when he got the interim gig, was doing so on the proviso at the time. It was just a short-term thing. It wasn't going to be a long-term thing. So, and since he's got the job, as the weeks have gone on, the better question is how much of his game model completely has he actually been able to implement?
Probably not, because he's inherited this squad. And I know we said this with Dave, right?
Yeah.
And we've said this with before. These aren't the players he probably want to use. Like,
but also in
his
terms of
model.
like habits and behaviors and tactics.
Yeah, he's not there yet. He can't be there yet because he didn't even know he was supposed to do that yet because he wasn't supposed to get the job.
Yeah.
So now he does. Look, I could be. This could be false confidence here.
Yeah.
And we can look. We've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So we can just talk about this. Like,
yeah,
I'm quite confident in him because does he want to play Lawrence and Pennington on the wing?
No.
No, of course he doesn't. But he's made the call. I'm going to put my quality out wide because this is how I want my team to play, and I'm just going to hope my younger guys can just play it through the middle and just manage to just scrap one in. Because when you don't have your JK, your Tags, your Bozza, your Despo,
Lawrence, I see Wales in as well,
and your Wales,
yeah.
you don't really have many other choices but to just go for that because you have a bunch of unproven players through the middle that you're trying to give them the opportunity. Like, I think it's great that he's given Suleimani this chance because Suleimani hasn't been given those opportunities at all, even though we brought him in.
Yeah.
Now he's been given back-to-back games where he could give us something. He hasn't given it to us. Okay, fine. Maybe we bring in someone else now and give them a shot. Or maybe even not, because we'll probably have Tags back next week, right?
Probably,
yeah.
Most likely.
So I genuinely, I can't put this loss on Griffo at all because I think he did the best he could under the situation. We conceded a deflected goal. It's just like, okay, it's a bit unlucky. Lucky the Irish isn't going our way. We should have gotten a pen, but that's a moot point. I understand that. But that's, again, another thing that went against us.
Yep.
That the penalty, which is completely on us. I don't think that's necessarily even Griffo's fault either. It was just Timmins decided to run I don't even know what to describe that as. Good save, but
I've got a word to describe it as, but I can't say it on pod.
Then that's fair. But this is not on Griffo, and it's nice. Again, it's despite the loss to say, you know what, we lost, but I can't point to the manager and go, you're an idiot because you didn't do this, you didn't do that.
I genuinely would love to have a sit down chat with Griff and just would love to, instead of getting him to talk about mountain goats and lions, I'm like, right, football.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Pick his brain on his tactics.
Yeah, it's it. And because that's what we were saying before. It's like the fact that he mentioned some of those coaches, like particularly who was it?
I like Guardiola.
Who the no, but like which of the A-League coaches is going to say Sarri or Spalletti or Sampaoli? Yeah,
I love Bielsa.
Who the fuck's going to say that?
I've always liked how Bielsa plays.
Everyone likes Bielsa.
But
I know, but like he's not as a person. I mean, as a style of football, I love that.
But that's the intriguing thing is like because we never really had like a reference point in terms of like what Griffo's idea of football really was because we knew back to basics, defend. But now it's like you've just mentioned that, and I think look.
If that's his style, give him January and see what he does, right?
Yeah, and it's probably the that kind of question of how long, because you don't want to give a deadline because nothing's like that. It's kind of abstract, but it's like I'd love to see the building blocks of let's try and see those habits and ideas that they're not going to be the exact same of those coaches, but if we start to see us kind of emulate them, and if execution doesn't work because we don't have our complete top starting 11 that's out there, okay, no worries.
Yep.
But I'd love to see us try it and just experiment a little bit more.
Yeah.
Obviously not against City next week. But
no. But I also think we have to remember all the games we've had a basically healthy squad.
Yep.
We have won.
Yeah.
We do have to remember this. The Sydney game, we lost some of our players halfway through. We lost JK and Tags halfway through that game.
Yep.
And that was against the best team in the league.
Yep.
This game, we basically had missing all of our main attackers except Tom, and we lose 1-0. It's not the worst result in the world. It's not the best. Obviously,
it's frustrating because it's deja vu, and Griff sort of said that at the end of the game.
But he can admit that.
Yeah.
He's admitting fault. He's admitting that, it's just, like...
Luck of the draw.
He's not going, I think the players weren't fit and shut your mouth. I respect a manager that can just be blunt, right? Yep. And once we have a full squad and fit squad... Please, if that actually does happen, I'm quite confident for the rest of the season.
The Muffin Man.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I will say something that struck me as a bit interesting in terms of Griff's approach to this game.
James's haircut.
I do agree with your assessment that he sort of just put his...
Fix your hair, mate. Well done.
That he sort of just put his high-quality players out wide.
Yes.
And just sort of hoped for the best. But something that sort of struck me as interesting was the fact that he didn't change the shape. I just don't think this was the game for the 4-4-2, unfortunately, or the 4-2-3-1.
No,
I would have preferred if we just stuck with a more conventional 4-3-3, had Timmins sort of as a sole screening 6, and then...
No.
Hold on.
Here we go, guys.
You have Timmins. Well, if we had Brandon O'Neill in the squad, yes. But in terms of the players we had, I probably would have had 4-3-3, and you have Timmins just sitting a bit deeper as your 6, and you have your 2 players in front of him being most likely Pennington and Lawrence, I'd say. There could be a good case to even say start Freeney on the right wing. I genuinely would have made that call. I genuinely think that. Sure. I would have said Freeney on the right wing, Chuck Quara on the left, let him go hard for the first 45 and see what he can do. Suleimani up top, he showed that he can get him behind. He showed that he can cause problems when he gets decent service, so let him do what he can do. I just don't think that we were set up to I don't think that we were set up in the game to sort of make the most out of the players we had, and that is it is fair to say, okay, this is the way we want to play as a team, so we're going to stick to our values. But at the same time, I don't know if I exactly like the fact that we're not willing to sort of change in that state.
But I also think the way he was looking at it is that, okay, I could put my best players up top, right, and then play a bit more narrow. But I think the way he may have been looking at it is like, I could do that, but then who's going to get the ball to my players that I do have up top? If you were to put Lawrence up top, right, instead of out on the wing, who's going to get the ball?
Exactly. That's why I say putting Lawrence in the midfield. I think you then have him. You have Qua and Freeney, who are Qua's good 1v1.
Yeah.
Will Freeney's okay, but we know he has that good sort of link. He's
a better.
Shamoon can get out wide. Sutton can get out wide. We can push forward.
No, the better question is why didn't we take more risks on the ball in the sense of having players getting higher and looking to ask more questions of Adelaide? Because Adelaide, I really enjoyed, for as much as I hated playing against them, but like seeing how they would move when they would have the ball and how proactive they are on the ball and the rotations that they would have. And it's like, and then I see our boys get on the ball and it's like, how are we going to move the ball? It's like, things were kind of static and there wasn't really that kind of dynamic movement, or let's actually try and get high and ask questions of the Adelaide defenders. And I think that's going to, I'll be intrigued to see at what point Griffo hopefully can implement his whole idea and his whole game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we'll see some interesting movement next month. I think in terms of players probably heading out.
Yeah,
maybe
I'd say so.
Maybe bringing. Well, we know one's coming in.
Yeah,
but we don't know if anyone else is going to be coming in. Right.
Yeah.
But that'll help. I think our main problem right now isn't defensive. Like you know, we're conceding a maximum of 1 goal a game. Right.
Yeah.
So which is like, saying out loud, it doesn't sound amazing, but from what we had, it's not bad, especially in the A-League.
Yeah.
I think bringing in some attacking quality is good, especially for the bench, because right now it's like, okay, you can turn to your bench and then what do you get?
It's scary.
I do think it's going to be interesting to see what kind of business we're doing in January in terms of outgoings, because I think it's fair to say the squad is very bloated. We have a lot of players on contracts.
Yep.
And one that's going to be interesting for me, and you know, we've touched on this before, Will, you especially, Luke Amos.
Yeah,
we need to know what's happening with Luke Amos, because here's the thing. A visa spot in the A-League is so incredibly valuable.
Yes.
However, having a player of Luke Amos's caliber in your team is immense. I think we can all agree he makes it into our best double pivot.
Yes.
Oh,
whether it's over Will Franey, whether it's over
he makes it to 11 no matter where he is.
Exactly.
He makes it,
And that's the frustrating thing, is that we have such a quality player there. And if you do get rid of someone like Luke Amos, you're not going to get someone probably as good as Luke Amos.
No chance.
But his massive downside is the fact that he hasn't had a preseason. He spent the first half of the season out injured. Does he get mutualed in January? Do we keep him on for the rest of the season? Do we
I don't think he gets mutualed. I think he's too high of a caliber player.
I don't think he gets mutualed either. But the question is, what do we do with him going forward? Do you look to?
I think the question is, because it's a good point about visa spots, because it's like you've got practically all of your visa players currently that are out there right now, and they're playing quite well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can afford to have a visa player not feature consistently, no matter how good they are. And I think when we look at the needs of the squad, I think defensively we're sound. I think we've got a lot of depth in midfield. I think our attack is glaringly obvious. And I'll say this about Quiet and Go, because I was quite critical of him last week. I enjoyed his cameo when he came on, because he didn't try to overdo it.
He passed the ball after he beat
and he had great threat on the ball. And that's the thing, when you're unpredictable on the ball and you drive at your opponent, he was the only one that did that. And I enjoyed watching that. Yeah. And that's why I was like, to Alex, I was like, in terms of what we could really do in terms of a winger, in terms of a profile of winger, someone that gets the ball and drives at their opponent and makes life hell. And that's why the idea of signing Joe Lolly was like, well, that's a good idea. But then it's like, if we were to sign
You take the
Motley,
risk of his injuries.
that's the thing. So
And that's the thing as well, is that I think he's going to be taking an extended period on the sidelines because he's
did it
re-injured his
against
hamstring.
did it against the Jets, yeah.
But it's just annoying because you look at someone like Kwa
Yeah.
and you see how effective he's been sort of driving at opponents these last few weeks off the bench.
Yeah.
You look around Australia, there's not really many other sort of players like that
He's
you
a
can.
dying breed.
He's a dying breed, yeah, and it is unfortunate because we don't produce players like that in Australia that
It's your
often.
fault.
Yeah.
No, as in like the way Man City, Guardiola.
Oh man!
ball.
Oh fuck off!
It is
Guardiola ball.
Guardiola.
No,
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
dick.
Sorry. The
It
team
is
that is currently getting the
so-
best out of Foden, Cherky, and Doku.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yeah, man,
Guardiola.
you took Savinho
okay.
and you turned him
Okay.
into a pass first attacker.
Excuse me, no. Savinho has been shit the last half year. I love Savinho, but he has been ass.
You
Guardiola.
took someone
He
who
has
ends
the
in an
worst.
Inyo.
He
Guardiola
has the worst
has
shot conversion
ruined
rate out of any
football.
play. You know what? Let's not even
All
talk
right.
about that.
Big fish always
Were there any other final points on Adelaide, or do we want to jump into the?
Well done, Redwig Steve, for coming over. Like he goes every game, but it's always nice to see him. Adelaide's away support was fairly decent.
Yep.
Could hear them from where I was sitting, quite loud.
All 10 of them.
Good for them. Yeah, but like
No, but it's, to be fair, it's good that made
yeah,
sense,
like
so.
Redwig was starting all the chants. I
Yep.
love that famous chant, Adelaide United. Shut up. But like it was
I'll
like
kill you.
good for them. Like I'm always
Good for you, Redwig Steve. I hate you.
no, I quite like Redwig Steve. He's a really nice guy.
He
But
is. I've never met him.
Yep.
he's very pleasant. Even though he's a Collingwood fan. But
Oh, Jesus.
You.
as much as I don't like losing, I am a football. I will always be football first over my club. Like in terms of like just enjoyment of the game over
Yep.
the actual support of the team.
Yep.
And despite the loss, I'm always happy for an away fan to pay hard-earned money and get rewarded by seeing win like we did when we went over to New South Wales.
And
So good.
back-to-back wins as well.
Back-to-back wins. So good for them.
It's a really nice feeling,
so-
James.
so-
You should
so-
try it sometime.
I will.
So good for them. But apart from that, like, it's just the same thing again from last week. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, it's just like you can't have that same result against a lesser opposition.
Yep.
That's when questions need to be asked. And I have full confidence in Griffo that he will ask the right questions and he'll make the right adjustments.
Yep.
I just think perhaps maybe he thought with playing our two best like attacking players on the night out wide, he thought maybe that didn't work against Sydney because of how good Sydney are defensively. But I think maybe now he's realising it's just a low block.
It really puts into focus now what we really need to do, and it's
that's fine.
But it's a good thing because instead of like last season under Driller where it was like holy shit, there's so many things that we need to work on. It's like,
just like
well, no,
one or two.
it's pretty clear.
In terms of
on the
good
ball.
decision making as well, we did confirm this with Scott Wooten. They are staying in Melbourne.
Good for the double.
Over for the double.
Good.
They're not going there, coming back. They're
So-
just
Very good
going
choice
there and
because they got
staying there.
Victory City.
City then
back to
Victory.
back,
City, then
right?
Victory.
City,
back to
yeah.
back.
So we'll touch on the City game in a little bit. We'll just go through the post-match player ratings.
What else can we touch on?
So
Me.
correct. So sorry. I said it. So Matt Sutton was our man of the match. He was our man of the match, deservedly so.
sign
with
the contract, mate.
Sign the
Sign the
contract,
ting.
big boy. So
Sign the thing.
37% of the vote, man of the match. You guys gave him a 7.7. We gave him an 8.
No.
Are we winning?
Oh, I'm checking now. Hold on.
Okay, right. Shabel Shamoon, you guys gave him a 5.6. We gave him a 5.2. Brian Kaltak, you guys gave him a 6.6. We gave him a 6.2.
Yeah.
Scott Wooden, you guys gave him a 5.6. We gave him a 6.7.
5.6. What did he do? How is Brian a higher level? What? Hold on a minute.
Hold on a fucking
Do
second.
you guys watch the football?
Do you guys watch the game?
Someone gave Scott a 1.
What?
Someone gave Scott a 1.
So let's hold on. So we probably would have got a fair rating that we gave him, but that one's dragged him down. Do you see?
Wait. I gave him a 7.5. What the fuck did you guys give him?
I gave him like a 6.5 or a 7.
What'd you give him?
At a 6, I think.
Like you can't give a centre back like a defensive when you concede and you lose. You can't give it
He
above.
just did nothing
Yeah.
wrong.
No,
man.
I know. He's just
He had a really good game.
He's the perfect example of if you don't notice him as like a defender, that means he's just clearing the ball out and you didn't have to worry.
He's doing
about
his
it.
job.
Yeah, he's doing his job.
Yeah. Wow.
Whoever
Viewers.
gave him a 1.
Viewers
No,
fucking
not
suck.
viewers. It's that one person. Whoever gave him a 1.
Fix your fucking
Please
head,
leave a
bro.
comment under our post
Yeah.
and explain why. I'm not sure. I want to know your reasoning. Do you reckon it's the guy who said, I think Wooten's overrated.
Probably.
But 1 is harsh. That's a sabotage.
That's
remove
ridiculous.
the 1.
Yeah.
Can you remove the 1 and see what he would have gotten? Because that's a sabotage, surely. You can't give anyone
5.8.
without the 1.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
What?
We have some harsh viewers. So, Sam Sutton, we both gave him a 6. Cal Timmins, you guys gave him a 4.7. We gave him a 4.2. Will Freeney, you guys gave him a 5.7. We gave him a 4.2.
What?
Yeah.
I did not rate him that low.
James, what did you give him?
I gave him a 4.
What did you give him? Did I not give him like a 5.5?
You gave him a 4.5.
Did I give him a 4.5?
You did.
I must have missed. I meant to do 5.
Jeez, we suck at these.
No, you did 4.5.
Affairs. Okay.
But it's I just thought
Who
it was
cares?
no, but I just because Will has had some fairly solid performances the last
Yeah,
few
for his
weeks.
standard,
For
yeah.
his standard,
It
that
was-
really
But,
good.
again,
wasn't-
he was also stranded in the midfield on his own.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So it's not like he could have done more. It's just
No.
unfortunate. So
Pennington, you guys gave him a 6. We gave him a 5.7. Suleimani, you guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 5.3.
yeah.
Tom Lawrence, you guys gave him a 6.6. We gave him a 6.7. Trent Osler, you guys gave him a 5.3. We gave him a 4.7. Quiet and Go, you guys gave him a 5.8. We gave him a 5.7. Gio Diabrio, you guys gave him a 5.9. We gave him a 5.8. Adam Bulgaria, number 1, don't use your fucking hand in the box, mate. That was stupid when he was trying to control the ball. You guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 4.3. Gabby Popovich, you guys gave him a 4.2. We gave him a 4.2. Josh Risden, you guys gave him a 4.5. We gave him a 3.2.
Oh no!
That's probably Alex's doing, but it was. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What did you give him?
I gave him a 2, I think.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
harsh.
No, it's not. It is absolutely not.
It was.
He had an awful cameo when he came on.
Yeah.
Awful cameo, and I'll explain why.
Yeah.
I understand it's harsh, but from a senior player when he comes on, you need maturity, especially when we're a man to the good, late on in the game, chasing.
Yeah, I
You need
understand that.
maturity. The one thing that did it for me, look, take aside the fact that his crosses were shit and he offered nothing in attack when he came on. You look at this, and this is what fucking did it for me. Late on in the game, Yaya Dakuli is wasting time in the
Corner.
in their corner,
Flag, yeah.
right? You have 2 options. You approach him, and you allow him to kick the ball out off of you, goes for a throw in,
Whatever.
restart there,
Yeah.
or you go there, you stand, you take your time.
Yeah.
He chose option 3, which is run 15 meters, slide tackle through the guy, get booked, and allow him to waste a minute worth of time
Yeah.
in extra time.
Yeah.
That's not fucking good enough.
No.
Absolutely not good enough. It's shit attitude and it's shit decision making
No,
from a
it's just-
senior
it's just-
player.
it was-
From a senior player who should be doing better in that stage.
It was just silly, and it's like, I mean, I love Rizzo when he was here in his first stint with us. Obviously, he was
Even the second stint, he's had some really, really good moments. He's had some really, really good performances, some spirited performances. But that was fucking poor.
It was just I look, he couldn't get the crosses going, and just that slide tackle for me, it was just like, but it wasn't just him. It was towards the end. We just kind of like we fucked up, and then we were making fouls and silly fouls as well. So that was the disappointing thing from the game. And then Adam Griffiths. You guys gave him a 5.1. We gave him a 5.3.
I just feel like he made some of the subs too late. Gabby Popovich should have been brought on earlier.
Yeah, agreed. We probably should have changed the shape as well, just to be a bit more attacking.
I would have
Yeah.
just
Ask more questions.
Said,
If we get done in the counter attack, okay.
Yeah, try for a new shape.
Yep.
Try something new.
Yep.
Bring on Gabby Popovich early if you're going to keep him on the bench.
All right,
pretty
Melbourne
much it.
City. Or were there any?
And he bought off Sammy Sutton. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I don't know either. It didn't make any sense to me. Melbourne City. So they lost the Melbourne Derby in front of Ange Postecoglou and Bessa Barisha and Kevin Muscat. As the A-League socials were making a big deal about it.
Yeah.
So City,
Grimaldi. Whoa.
just to sort of give it a context, they had a lot of the ball against Melbourne Victory. Not as many shots, but I think this is a danger game. Obviously,
we lost 4-0 earlier, didn't we?
well, our coach got sacked after that game. So, look, it's
Thank you, Melbourne City.
look. City, they've got to play MacArthur in a couple of days' time, and then they play us. So, what do we think about the City game?
2-0 City. Done. Move on, please.
Thanks for those really insightful thoughts, William.
I'm serious. I'm so tired. I don't think we'll lose 4-0. I think we will have our main striker back, hopefully, or at least maybe as a cameo.
He should feature,
at least at some point.
Yep.
Maybe even Bozza.
Yep.
Maybe even
Zach Lizalowski. We should have Zach Lizalowski, Reece Bosnovsky, and Adam
Where's
Taggart back.
Lockie at? How's he doing?
We don't know.
No ETA.
We don't know.
JK? Maybe play next home game. Mariners.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
him and Despo.
Just to touch on something really quickly. We had a couple more fan comments literally just in. Ewan Gray, who said we could still be playing and we still wouldn't have a shot on target. And then Muller, he said the honeymoon is well and truly over. Another slow start and another early goal conceded. The blueprint on how to beat this now Griffiths-led side has been laid out. Physio department want a stern talking to.
I want the physio sacked.
Valid.
This is not good enough.
Yeah.
I would have
Questions
had him out
have to be
arse.
asked. Questions have to be asked, my friend.
That's such a niche comment.
Well,
that motherfucker should have been lining up outside of Centrelink yesterday instead of running out onto the pitch to assess fucking.
I'm gonna sound like Besart Barisha, but how is it possible?
How is he possible?
How is possible? In the words of our good friend of the podcast, Marco Mancosu, how is fucking possible?
How is fucking possible?
How is fucking possible?
That's it. How is fucking possible? Like with all our players out, our attack suddenly out, all with soft tissue injuries. Hello, So, I think there should be some
If you guys want a real person to come and help you out with your muscle injuries, go to Langer Chiropractic in Subiaco. Tell you what, he's gone.
Good.
He's John. Is it John Langer or Justin Langer?
Justin Langer's the cricket player.
Yeah, so saying Justin.
Yeah.
So John Langer. Yeah, sorry, I got the names back to front. John Langer is the guy who does all this. Like he's really good at chiro and physio and all that.
Yep.
Justin's his brother.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
He's very cool. And he talked about Daniel Sturridge one time. I would ask because Sturridge came because he was recommended to go see him for an injury that Sturridge had while he was here. And he apparently walked in fully blinged up, like wearing rings on every finger with massive chains. And he goes, "Yeah, you're right, bro." And John is just like, "Yeah, mate, come on, have a lie down and have a look at you." And he goes, "No, I am." And he goes, "No."
Fuck.
And then apparently after the rest of the time, Sturridge was just like really moody and like, "How does he not know who I am?" And Langer's just like, I don't know. I think you play for Perth, right? He's like, yeah. They're like, Perth who? And he just goes,
what the fuck?
Perth who? Yeah. Like, do you not know who I am, bro? Like, he's fully like, he got so angry because he didn't know who Daniel Sturridge was.
Sorry, sidetrack, quick update. Jamie Smith has just been bowled out.
Yeah. Fuck off your fucking...
So, Melbourne City. Just to expand, so you don't think it'll be 4-0?
No, maybe like 2-1.
Can we get something from the game?
No.
Or is it too much of an ask?
No. Yes, we can, because I think City aren't amazing. They're not like, I get this is.
So we turn them into prime Barcelona when we played them.
We turned every team into prime Barcelona.
In terms of like actual individual ability, City aren't an incredible team. However, their strength comes in their structure, their maturity, their energy, their technical ability, and their sort of team play. That's where it comes from. So, in my opinion, you need Reece Bosnovsky back in that fucking team.
Easily.
You need him back in. And I hate to say it again, I want to get Labib in to deal with Kanamori because fucking Kanamori.
Because this was City's team against
very
Victory.
Fast,
they had
quick.
Beach, Bajic, Truan, Ferreira, Atkinson, Drakovic, Schreiber, Rashani, Kuhn, Kanamori, and Caputo. That is a very strong team.
Capu.
That is a very strong team. That is a very strong team.
No, it is a very strong team, but also, you know, when you have a literal lion on your sideline,
the lion needs some help.
The lion needs a competent cub, meaning he needs a physio to
Mufasa needs his Simba.
Mufasa needs some damn help. Anyone ever seen The Lion Guard?
Yeah.
Like the spin-off show from The Lion King. It's like there's the little things that help out Mufasa. He needs a whole group of them.
No,
and right now he's just kind of got like
Simba needs his Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, this is so true. And also like he doesn't need all those gazelles that ran and killed.
But,
That's true.
He's got a bunch of gazelles.
So
currently,
score prediction,
I
Will?
don't know. Like 6. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. No, I'm not doing that. My head's gone. I think we will get on the score sheet if Tags features. If he doesn't feature, we won't score.
Yep.
So I think it'll be 2-0 without Tags to City.
Yep.
With Tags, if Tags is fit and plays like a solid 60 minutes, if he starts and then comes up, I think there's a little thing inside me that says the Amy Park return of glory, where we always seem to manage to, like back in the old days, like 5 years ago, we would go to Amy Park and we managed to pull out like a random 1-0 or 2-1 result against City. I could see it happening because I just think, again, we have that squad and tactic way that we can compete against anyone as long as we put our best foot forward.
We need to really like go at him. Like,
I'm going to actually, if Tags is fit and firing, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Without Tags, a 2-0 loss.
Would you change? Well, what changes would you make to the lineup? Because about Tags if he can feature.
So are we talking lineup with who we're assuming will be healthy by then?
Yes.
Okay. So Silmani off. Just
No.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah. Just bye.
Right.
Tags straight on.
Yep.
Bozza on for Timmins. Absolutely.
Same back four.
Same back four. I mean, what else are you going to do, really?
On the bid because Alex wants him out right back.
No. The back four off on the bench. Put LeBill on the bench for sure.
Yeah.
You don't change the back four at all.
Yep.
Little side
Back four
eye.
podcast.
Put Peno in the middle if you have to. If you're going to start him, right? Maybe put Trent out on the wing instead, or Will Freeney. And put Lawrence in the middle to help out Tags.
I have an interesting take for my starting.
All right,
lineup.
James.
Go on.
What have you?
No, let's hear Alex's.
Now this is
That's your work
First of all,
nonsense.
I feel a clip coming on, guys.
no. Give me up.
Someone's going to comment.
I want Pennington in goal.
Timmins at centre. No, I'm joking.
No, oh my God.
Okay.
Right.
With Zach Lizalowski coming back, I've been
here we go.
racking my brain.
Here we go.
Thinking, how the fuck do we get him in the squad? Because we
can't.
Hold on. Because I think I found a way to do it.
Don't say a back five. I'll kill you if you say a back
I'll
five.
shoot you. I'll kill you. I'll stab you.
I'm not saying a back five.
Don't say back three either.
This is even worse. Okay.
Just wait.
In goal, Matt Sutton.
No shit.
Okay.
Thanks, mate.
Right back, Sharmoon.
Yeah.
Caltac Wooden centre backs. Left back, Zach Lizalowski. Wait. Double pivot, Bozza, Pennington. Right wing, Freeney. Left wing, Sam Sutton. Front two, Lawrence and Tags. You get Sam Sutton on. Let him fucking like, bro. Who the fuck does City have, bro? Like Nathaniel
Don't
Atkinson.
say that. They're going to rip us
Fuck
a
off.
brand new
Like,
arsehole.
no. I honestly think if you need someone with a bit more physical ability and a bit of pace about him to be able to deal with Kanamori, Zach Lizalowski is a really good option.
Okay, but
And it allows Sutton to actually drive forward at the defense, which is something that we've been missing. People that actually are willing to drive. You then are able to bring on Kwa off the bench on either side that you want him to. All right.
But this is assuming Zach's not going to play a full 90.
Yeah, no. I agree.
He's going to play
Which is
10
why-
minutes max if he plays off the bench.
Let him
come
come on off the bench and then he can smash into someone.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
if
if you
Zach's
want-
going to play, he'll be playing a maximum of 15
Yeah,
minutes.
okay.
Smash into
against
someone.
his team.
If you want a genuine starting 11 for what I think we'll
Yeah,
go with,
please
I think
do.
it'll be the same back four, but I would like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see our two wingers being Franey off of the right and Kwa off of the left. Double pivot being Bozza and Pennington, and then front two being Tags and Lawrence.
That would work well.
Then on the bench, you can stack it up properly. You have Brandon O'Neill, you have Callum Timmins, you have Andriano Labib, you have Zach Lizalowski. There's so many good quality players that you can fit into this bench now because some of them are starting to come back from injury. There's no reason why you can't get guys like that on the bench. So I would
What
like
about
to
Osler?
see Osler. I'd have on the bench as well,
Yeah.
just as a good fullback. I would genuinely consider dropping Risdon from the squad.
It's not a.
Stiff.
I think he actually would. I think he actually is going to be dropped because he didn't travel at all for the. He didn't travel for the Newcastle game. It just wouldn't surprise me if he gets told he can stay home for the Melbourne trip just to get some rest because he's been playing a lot.
Look, I bring him along with the squad, but I genuinely wouldn't be surprised and or mad if he got dropped for at least one of the games.
No, Josh Risdon is the greatest Perth player
if it comes down to putting Labib in the squad or putting Risdon in the squad, I'm putting Labib in the squad.
Yeah, but okay, there's clearly something not going on with Labib, so I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either, but that's why I want to know what is going on because I want to know why we're not seeing the player that's last season was so phenomenal for us.
Yeah.
Because at least with Kalen, we saw it. He showed great promise early on and then afterwards had a few dodgy performances, eventually lost his spot in the squad when Labib came through.
Yeah.
Right? Kalen?
Just
not selected.
Not selected.
I love this squad selection, guys. It's like so many
but
players.
You know what I mean? It's like at least with Kalen, we had the explanation of okay, he started off really strong, but sort of lost it as he came through, and then Labib was coming through and sort of took his spot in the squad. But with Labib, he's just gone from really good talent, was injured, came back in, bang, dropped immediately, and not in the squad. Where the fuck is he?
Yeah,
where the fuck is he?
That's a good question. I'd consider playing a midfield 3 against City.
I would as well, genuinely. But only in the scenario that Brandon O'Neill starts in that midfield.
Yeah, because I would have. Oh, you're gonna hate this. It's all right. I already made a stupid suggestion last week, so I'll make another one. So Brandon Holding, and then Freeney Bozza, and then I'd have Pennington as a 10, and then Tags and Lawrence next to each other up front, playing a 4-4-2 diamond.
So like a 4-3-1-2.
Yep. And then I have my fullbacks really push up. Fuck it.
That's not awful, but
it's not awful, but it's also not very practical.
I have the concern that Kanamori is going to be, for lack of a better term, fucking just running through us, like fucking training through us.
Yeah, but that's not. But that's
even.
Also not to say that we can't, defend in a 4-4-2 shape.
I don't think so, but
it just comes from I want to see Griff kind of experiment with the shape.
I would like to see experimentation.
I'd love to see him experiment.
Well, but
I don't think he will either.
I also thought we saw that at a lot of occasions last night. That 4-3-1-2. That same thing when Osler was tucking inside. And we saw both.
To sort of sound like Stadge, but like get both fullbacks up and let's just fucking attack him.
I don't mind it, but if I was going to see that in a case, I would rather see a 4-3-3 with a DM. Have Brandon O'Neill holding in front of him, get Bozza and Pennington. Off the right wing, put Freeney, and then just have Tom Lawrence operate just really inside and just put your faith in Sam Sutton to be able to operate that left wing.
That's fair.
Yeah, but that's sort of the idea, and it's like because I think
we've seen that Lawrence can do well cutting in off that left hand side and hitting shots as well.
We need to develop more of a punch when we're playing against teams, especially away from home, and if we can somehow do that against Melbourne City, then that'd be really good. Are there any final points? Because I'm sure the viewers won't like us drabbling on too much.
No, there was a punch on in the general admission last night, which was quite funny. Credit to HBF Park Security for getting it sorted. Eventually, it took them a while.
And
also they were the exact same guys in the bay last week that were causing shit. So great to see that they were let back into the fucking ground. But hopefully, you've gotten their details and you know not to let them back into the ground for the game.
Venues West,
just on the bay. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone in particular, but there was a certain chant that was
probably has to stop.
It's about Brian Kaltak, and I'm not going to repeat it because I just don't want there to be clips of me saying it.
Yeah,
but I just want whoever's the ones starting those chants and getting involved with them. I just want you to think about this. If you're hearing this, think about the player you're singing about. Think about what you're saying, and think about if he'd actually like that chant.
Because a similar chant was done for Daryl Lackman, as I understand it, and it wasn't well received.
It was shut down pretty quickly. It was not accepted well.
Don't fucking do it. Come up with a different one.
I want to just make this point. Like, you wouldn't say if, for example, if we still had... Okay, if it's about Woods, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't say he's big, he's white, would you?
No.
You're saying... the way you're thinking about Caltech, you're using that as an explicitive about who he is. You're making that a defining feature of what he is when that's not true or like it's not valid. It's just stupid.
More to the point that there's been some complaints about and like people sitting nearby the bay that have been pretty, a bit uncomfortable with how the chant is.
Yeah, so you are trying to establish yourself as an integral part of active support of the club.
Yeah.
And then you do that. I don't know what parts of the bay are doing it, but stop it because it's honestly a disgrace. Genuinely,
it's immature.
When I hear it's just immaturity, and it's just it's at a level you have to think about that these are your own players, right? And we don't know obviously much about Brian in terms of who he is off the pitch, but there's very few things you have with him. I just don't think he'd like it.
I don't think it would either.
I just don't think. I don't think anyone would.
No.
It's not funny.
No.
It's not. A good. It just isn't needed.
Yep.
And there's just no point to do it.
Yep.
It's just genuinely you guys just taking the piss and trying to have a bit of fun. In reality, you're just kind of shitting on one of your own players and making him feel uncomfortable. It's just not funny. So please stop. Genuinely.
Well said.
Yeah. It just does my head in.
Yeah. No, it is a good point because I cannot see any other scenario in which a player goes, he's big, he's white, or like he's big, he's brown, or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's just because it's just making fun. It's just
a shit chant.
It's just
man.
disgusting.
Come up with a better one, guys. Come on.
I know there's a few other Brian Katzek ones they use, but that one's got to stop. Like it's going to get to the point where it's just you're going to either get disbanded because the club hear it and go, nah, you guys have just got to cut it out, or you're going to have security tossing you out because it's going to get to the point where there's going to be complaints.
We've had a lot of problems in the past as well with youth active supports and racial abuse towards players.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that shit happen.
And I don't want to hear. You go to a game. It's fairly loud when they sing it. Everyone can hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
clearly.
Yeah, clearly. I was on the other end of the ground near the Adelaide away support. I could hear it, and I'm just like, really? I heard it 3 times.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
That's just man.
Well, that will end episode 46 of the Glory Days podcast. This will be our last episode before Christmas. So to all of you at home, Merry Christmas.
Enjoy the Christmas celebrations and the shenanigans.
Fantastic year.
Yes.
Enjoy
your time away from the club for a few days.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoy your holidays. Spend it with family. Enjoy it, and we will be back with you after the Melbourne City episode. And look, well, I'd say you and I definitely wish that it was Christmas every day, but we don't have to wait too long.
No.
We hope you all enjoy your holidays. Thank you all so much for your support that you've had for us. I was going to say this year, but we should be doing one episode.
We're doing one more.
There'll be one more.
To our thank yous and everything for the year, but for the Melbourne City podcast.
Yeah.
But we'll just touch on it now very, very briefly. We really do appreciate all the support. I think
absolutely.
I genuinely think we have the best club podcast in the league.
Kid came up to me and James last night and asked for a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah. we genuinely really appreciate the views and interactions on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the above.
We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you guys commenting and leaving us things to talk about and actually having a conversation with you guys. So we really do appreciate it.
And you're allowed to call our opinion shit, by the way.
Absolutely. We call what you guys say bad. You can come you can call Alex whatever you want.
I've had so many insults for that Pennington take.
And he deserves it.
And to be fair, in hindsight, I did deserve it.
Seb, if you did comment on Alex's video when you scored that goal, that was... Yeah,
commented on my.
I bloody hope that was in.
I think it was Seb because it was from an account called S Despo. So I'm assuming that was it. But that's going to be it for episode 46. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, and we will see you all after Christmas, after the Melbourne City game. And until then, it is bye for now.
Cheers, guys.